Now that I've been thinking much more in depth with this whole Michaela experience, I'm even getting a higher percentage and certainty. This happened when I was at Creekview High School parking lot, and I was 18, and we happened to drive. I want to say this is where it was, but as the location is not as certain as I feel, even more is about. This guy told me, he says, you kind of look, do you have a sister by the name of Michaela? And he said, you kind of look like her, though. Do you have a sister named Michaela? And I said, no. So I'm going to say Michaela did go even more certain. I'm going to say like a 70% chance now that I'm going to say that it was Creekview High School she went to. Now, what I want to say is, was somebody stalking you? Obviously, if they were sending people toward me, they had to have been sending them toward you. But as far as anything as I have to say about this is, I don't want to relate the coincidence, because I still think that there are things like that, it was a coincidence that I come into some circumstances that had nothing to do with someone stalking you, that I just somehow came across somebody that just happened. It's like winning the lottery, or you come across someone that you haven't seen in 10 years in a different state. Like I saw Jason Beckwith in Seattle, Washington one day when I was at the Underground Subway, and I didn't say anything, and I froze. And at this time I had just started being homeless, and it was really bad, and I was being threatened like you wouldn't even imagine. And I didn't approach or walk, and he looked over at me, and he was smiling kind of from a far distance, and he knew it was me. And I think he was waiting for me to say something to him. He's like, hey, I remember you. But like I said, I want to say this, it was certain. I'm going to say, if I take any guesses of anything, I'm going to say she went to Creekview or Louisville, or both of them. But more than anything, I'm going to put all my ticket on, I'm going to say she went to Creekview High School. And the reason I say this is because I was with Daniel. This is 100% sure. I was with Daniel when this happened. I was 100% with Daniel when this happened. I don't know if it was just me and him. I think it just was me and him at the time. It could have been Robert with us all as well. But I was the only one out of the car that was sort of being talked to him. And like I think Daniel was like trying to spark up a bowl or something like that. And with maybe someone else or by himself, just getting out of the car and just kind of gazing out, looking at scenery and smoking a bowl. And the guy approached me, and he said, yeah, is Michaela going to be there? Wait, do you have a sister by the name of Michaela? I go, no, not that I know of or anything. So, I mean, I know it sounds so wild that somebody told me that, but I wish I could prove it. I'm going to say she did. Michaela, don't get this confused with someone saying, someone stalking you. I'm sure there was different stalkers. Without a doubt, 100%, that Ken Cooper's family sent, whether to protect you or whatever reason to investigate you. But it still doesn't change that I think I did just come across somebody that just happened to like you, and it was some white guy, and was like, yes, Michaela, and he just happened to look like, he goes, you kind of look like her. You got a sister? So I know I kind of looked at him, and he said Michaela. Now, the only people who are going to know that truth is if she did go to Creekview High School. So, Michaela, I mean, I think this was a coincidence. I think this really wasn't arranged and set up, in my opinion. I really do think that I came across the spontaneous of a lightning bolt, or as lucky as it was, that I came across someone that just happened to wanted to go to a party, and there was a couple of guys, and he wasn't dressed in rags, or he wasn't really rich. He looked just like an average person. So I thought I would say this because when he said, like, do you have a sister by the name of Michaela? And he goes, whoa, and I said, no, but he said, you kind of look like her a little bit. And you kind of look like her a little bit. So I don't know. If I were to take in any high school, in any place, of any gamble I'm going to say that she ever went to, I'm going to say Creekview 100% on everything. I feel like she could have gone to Louisville or something like that, but there's a lot of high schools in Dallas. People can say what they want. Whoever's watching The Psychologist, I think this could be benefiting. If Michaela gets to watch these videos, I don't think Michaela gets to watch these videos, or maybe even doesn't care. But I would like to say that, you know, I understand you're not a participant in my life. You know, like no one else is. My mother, and I want to tell this to Michaela. Michaela, please understand this very dearly when I say this to you. I hope I get to sit down one day and talk to you in a very calming and a very comfortable setting one day, to just get to speak to you as a brother and find out who you were and what your life is, any information you'd like to share, what your life in existence was, and my biological father. And I'd like to tell you my story. But the truth is, you have no idea the persecution that I feel always terror about your life. That you have no idea how many people are coming after you and coming after me because of Ken and Sarah Cooper. Let me tell you this. I'm going to the grocery store, like I was at the dollar store, and they're getting people to pose at the stores as someone that I know. And I say someone, they get these like it's like Hollywood. They think they're filming a movie, and they think they're filming a character movie about this. So, like when I went to the dollar store, they'll quickly have these people show up which to my understanding is illegal. You can't just hire people to start posing themselves in a job position just because you want them to be there. They have to fill out paperwork, they have to fill out the application, they have to be on the payroll. They can't just be working the cash register just because you feel like it. And this happens at many different stores that I go to. Now, when I went to the dollar store, they already know where I'm going at all given times that I'm going. When I got there, they had someone posing themselves like an identical twin as Madison, because she's white. And so this is becoming also very prejudiced and racist. So I wanted to say that when I got there, then that person starts to betray you. It was very specifically Madison, and then gets nasty toward me. This is entirely to try to turn the tables on you, and they're doing this to me. This is all in the persecution against you, our biological father, and our dead sister. It's not me that's bringing it up. It's not me that's wanting to let go of this any more than so many of us in the family. You don't understand the persecution of what these people are doing. That I don't like it. I don't want to be brought up. There's nothing that they want to do other than feed off the parasitical emotions and devour and just make it very awful and nasty and painful for me. They want to see their clear white supremacists for Ken Cooper's race a leader and a hero. And then that's the princess white girl that did it all and was really just the angel of the story. And that isn't the truth, because the truth is that I couldn't even express what a slimy pig Ken Cooper really was. You don't understand. When I say pig, you're watching a child get fucking fucked in his ass and fucking raped repeatedly, and he's claiming to be a hero and detective and police officer and scolding the shit out of my mother when my dad commits suicide with his wife. And I have to not say any of these things, pretends like he's a hero. Because they're beating me with these electronic devices. They're tracking me down, and it's in the entire society of people that are coming at me because of it. And I'm not just tired. It's because of my own safety that I'm being trained and I'm being told not to talk about it. To keep quiet about it. So the only life that I'm ever going to get in this life is I go along with what they tell me. If I don't go along with what they tell me and just agree, like if they begin to train me and tell me that my biological father Hector was a piece of fucking shit garbage, worthless deadbeat motherfucker, and they train me, I'm going to have to start doing that. Because I had no choice. You had no idea. Look, let me tell you this. I had to call my mother. Not my mother. Let me tell you before I get into anything else, Michaela. This video is really dedicated to you. Michaela, please understand this. And since my father has died, since the last time that I saw my biological father, our biological father, Hector, that I was named after. I have only, to my understanding, I have only seen my mother one time. One time in the last over 20 years. They have had her identical twin posing as my mother the entire fucking 20 years to completely cut me off connection. And her identical twin is fucking I can't even imagine how disgusting and how parasitical, guttering, nasty this woman is being to me and has been to me. My mother, my real mother, would have never done anything like this to me or wanted something like this to me in any mental healthy state. So I don't know who the psychologists are, I don't know who it was, but they have my mother repeatedly, and it's only been getting worse over the last, I'm going to say the last couple years have gotten really fucking bad. Really fucking bad. When my mother is now beginning to practice, her twin, her identical twin is now pretending to do death wishes on me and saying, get ready to die, we're going to get the money, and we're going to, like, really crazy shit. Like, I'm talking to her on the phone and it's really fucking crazy. Like, crazy fucking talk. And she was not doing this necessarily before. She is ready to bury me. Whatever they're telling her to do is it's very frightening. Like, I feel, I'm not lying when I tell you, I feel scared to talk to this person because this person has done some really treacherous shit. And this is an identical twin of a mother. My mother is not this person. This is not my mother. This person has not. My mother loves me very dearly and is very soothing and nurturing. Not this identical twin person has been posing as my mother, ripping my ass apart. She's ignoring the fact. I don't really feel like it's her to blame. I really feel it's the people that gave my mom the house and the money and the psychologist. That's who's doing it. Because they knew about the rapes and how they were persecuting me with the homosexuals. This is not a straight man's world. This is nothing but gays. In this place, just like in every place that I'm going to, but this is one of the most populated homosexual cities. There's no straight people that have any jobs anywhere, anywhere. There's nothing but transgenders and gays nothing but transgenders and gays that are in this place. Nowhere. There's no straight people at all. Like it's almost kind of prejudiced in my opinion, but I wanted to tell you this, Michaela, because I hope very dearly that this video can reach you. I don't know what can happen to my health. I don't know if one day I'm going to die, but I really honestly feel my life is in danger. They're not going to stop until I die, and I have now accepted that this is the only life I'm ever going to get. If I don't go along with what heinous, crazy things that these people are training me to do and the electronic devices, I'm not going to get any life. I have been fighting and fighting and fighting to fight for my freedom, going to Washington, D.C., traveling off the United States and living homeless in the streets, sleeping next to trash cans all the time, and people throwing food at me, trash, spitting at me on a daily basis. Persecution like you wouldn't even imagine. Wiping feces on me in bathrooms, threatening to kill me, trying to hit me with their cars. The electronic devices are some of the worst things because then they tell the people to come after me when they shoot the electronic devices at me to do whatever it is they want me to do for them. And it's very prejudiced. So that's what I have to say about that. But if I don't go along with it, I'm not going to get a life. If I don't go along and make Sarah Cooper a hero, or make Ken or Kenneth and Michelle and Madison and what they did into heroes, if I don't start turning the tables and just go against what I think would be right, then they're going to punish me. There's not a life I'm going to get. I have to go along with what they tell me. If I don't, I suffer the consequences. I don't get a life. And this is the only piece of life that I'm ever going to get. They are going to do this until I die. I have accepted it. I'm 40 years old. I could never express how many places that I was traveling to. I was shooting machine guns out of military helicopters. flying around a mountain with absolutely hoping that maybe in some patriotic way or some attention that would be caused, that people would take a notice that they were shooting me with these electronic devices, and I wanted freedom, and I'm not in a I'm a normal person, and I was not treated as one. They will do this until I die. They will kill me. They will put me in a hospital. They will put a crucifix, and they will train me to die this way. They don't care about Jesus themselves. These people don't care about Jesus. They don't care about God at all. They just use this to kill. That's all they want. Very few people actually believe in Jesus and actually believe in God. These people, let me tell you something. This is what happened to me. I have not I just got back from Walmart. They had someone, they already know what clothes I'm going to be wearing. I'm going to be wearing my black tie. I don't know if you can see that right there. And I have all black and some tennis shoes that you can see. Black long sleeve shirt, black slacks with those brand new shoes that I got at Walmart. And I want to be going to church because I remember seeing that you had a crucifix, a black crucifix you had. So they know that this is sort of probably going to be a preparation or a method to how to bury my sister. So when I went to Walmart earlier, there was a guy that looked like Ken Cooper, and he starts acting very hostile, and he's wearing all black as well. And he starts acting very hostile, threatening, so he could threaten me and scare me and pretend like, remember Jesus, I told you, okay. And he's walking by me to cause a hazard, and he goes, okay, and he does this. And I have never met this guy, never seen this guy. And all I'm doing is scanning my groceries before I leave and wait outside at the corner of Walmart, right on the side of the building, wait for the bus to show up. But he doesn't wait until I walk. And so when I'm walking by him, he's scanning very fast, and he makes sure he causes an intimidation. He causes a physical fear. To cause a physical fear is to tell you better do what Ken Cooper told you, Sarah Cooper, because we're the white leaders here. And it's this prejudice. And so what he does is he walks, and he moves real fast, and he's doing this, and he goes, okay, and he like yells kind of at me as I'm walking by. I don't even know this guy. But it's because they know that I'm already ready going to church. And the reason he does this is because you see how the spirit of Ken Cooper, oh, okay, he's just working. It's the spirit of Ken Cooper, Jesus Christ Ken Cooper, Sarah Cooper, and the white supremacy. So they're doing this very strictly on a very base of prejudice for that. And I don't even know these people. I'm very nice. I don't say, I couldn't express that I get out of people's ways. I'm not trying to cause any trouble. But this is the attacks that I get all the fucking time, everywhere I go. Now, if I don't go along with this, I'm not going to get a life. Any place I go, here, grocery store, cigarettes, it's not going to stop. And the electronic devices are so violent that they cause me to be submissive to a total stranger and believe what they're telling me, that this is for the white race, and this is for the white race. So me wearing this clothes, because you usually wear all black to a funeral, is to now practice going to a church in a funeral process for my dad's sister. And then that's why that guy showed up at Walmart, because Ken Cooper's going to take her spirit, and then he claims that he's thrown the dead body, my dad's sister, over to the Jesus Christ cross. And that's all bullshit. They're all lying. These people don't believe in God. That's how they do that. So, like I said, I may be in a very nice environment when it comes to my apartment, but I cannot get attached to any of it. I can't. Other than believing in God, I have been living on the fucking streets for too fucking long. Way too fucking long. That I can't get attached to any of this, that I can get kicked out at any moment. I can't trust it. I can only trust that God will whether it's here, will come with me. And I have to believe in faith in God. Whether it's living back on the streets again, because I have no choice in just going from place to place on Craigslist, because it's safer. And not to say safer, but just because it's an existence better to try to have hope for more freedom. But like I said, it follows me. The electronic devices and the President of the United States is directly involved. They're gonna do this until I die. You have no idea how many electronic devices they're using at me, that, like when I burp, or they're shooting electronic devices that's pulsating my heart, and it could kill me. I don't know if it could. I don't, and it scares. It would scare anybody that somebody can use an electronic device to make sure your heart could pump. What happens if my heart ruptures? They can make it look like an accident. What electronic device could someone use to kill somebody, to kill me, and then say, oh, well, his aorta ripped open? No, it's because you use electronic devices and it quivered his heart, and then he had a weak aorta, and then you killed him a little bit. No, you murdered Hector is what you did. But they're not going to do an investigation. They're not going to say, oh, you killed Hector with an electronic device. They're not. I don't know how many other people they could have killed and led to their death with these electronic devices. But they're not going to stop. I've already I have really just believed that there's no more hope as far as me ever leaving these electronic devices. It's going to follow me. It's going to till my very death. My mother is directly going along with this. My mother is saying some of the most, I wouldn't say my mother's twin. I don't know who she is, who is telling her to do this, but she is directly following some nasty things to me. I don't know if you just heard this, but somebody just hit a wall right now. They just shot an electronic device. Look, they just hit because the wall's painted white. So I want to say this. See, they just shot these electronic devices. I think it's important for me to say this. It's very nasty. I don't know what the fuck, who is telling my mother, because my mother's twin, I don't know her fucking name. Her name's not Celestina. I don't know what the fuck her name is. I have been fooled this entire time. Now, if I have no communication with my mother, either my mother is sick and she can't take care of herself no more, and that's why, and it's also because they can take advantage of my mother, and they can strip away and take anything that they want. My mother is not in any mental good state. No way, I can tell you this, is not in any good mental state. Absolutely not. There's no fucking way. Frankie was being raped by 10 men, 12 homosexual fucking women, ripping my brother's fucking ass open. I got raped in numbers of these occasions along with my brother, including giving oral sex in Mexico, including being raped once in my house, including hearing the scream, my mother being held with a butcher knife to her throat. That little girl died. I don't even know where she's buried. So I want to say this very clearly, and I want to say this. You don't understand how bad this really is toward my mother, to why she is the way now. Whoever took over this and put her in this mental state, she is not herself. The last time I saw her, she was crying, and she was crying saying they're torturing me. What these people are doing to me, you have no idea what these people are doing. And I could see that in my mother's eyes. I can take a look, and let me tell you, I went to Walmart. And when I went to Walmart, there's now a transgender that's real tall that's showing up, that's looking at me all crazy and very threatening. And they wait till I get finished scanning, and then they're doing this. And it's right in front of where all the Marine photos and like a kind of memorial little section is. Like I'm a traitor or I'm Osama bin Laden. I was just at the dollar store 5 days ago, and there's a guy behaving exactly like Barack Obama and moving like him, and he begins to tell me, he goes, yeah, I got a guy over there that looks like you, saying that, like he's making the mockery, saying that, yeah, I killed Osama bin Laden, he looks like you, I killed Osama bin Laden that looks like you, and that's what he was referencing. This is the persecution. This would come from a black guy. So, like I said, I don't like that situation at all, and when I discuss any circumstances, I think it's healthy for me to at least express this, that I really do hope, I know that your mind has to have been contaminated very severely to intentionally despise me. More than anything, it is to train you to hate me, to dislike me, to disown me, to spew me like a worthless shit, as much as they possibly can, to make you believe, to make you work like that, trust that, and go along with it. Because they want to cover up of what they did. You may be white, but you're only half of that. And your white half of that is only going to take you that much further than any Mexican side that this is ever going to take you. and that is why. And this little Mexican girl died, and like I said, I have to go along with what these people tell me. I have to go along with what they tell me. I'm not going to get a life. I'm not going to get any life at all if I don't, because it causes more peace. It causes more. The more I go along with it, the more peace it is, the more understanding, the more that it understands that I can't do anything about this anymore. I have to leave it up to God, because there was no justice. There was not going to be any person that was ever going to serve justice in any form of the way. And it was because it was so corrupted with police officers and the people that are being involved. That is exactly why. It is strictly the homosexuals and the transgenders and the white supremacy that retaliated against our biological father and my mother and against you and me. That is exactly why. There is nothing else. This is a full-blown prejudice action and nothing more than that. There is no moral code. There's no code of saying, let me see what's right and what's wrong. It's nothing of that. It's, I want to make white supremacist. I want to make, oh, he's a leader, and now give him money. It didn't matter. None of it does. So I wanted to, say something about this, that I hope, God, that you're fine. But I know that you have to be in some sort of distress. There's no way you're not going to have bad people around you. There's no way you're not going to have any bad people. You're going to have bad people around you. So, like I said, me simply going to the grocery store is a very heavy task for me, because most of this situation is really fucking bad in the fight for Ken and Sarah Cooper and feeling sorry for these motherfuckers. You're talking about a child that got raped by fucking 12 fucking fully grown men. 10 are confirmed, and 12 haven't been yet to be told that there's about a 60% chance that they did. 12. And they're all feeling sorry, and what they do around me is they play character acting roles like they think it's a movie. These people don't even know what a scum piece of shit. Like, if you had a bunch of people portray themselves as Hitler, wouldn't you be fucking disturbed? That's exactly what these people are fucking doing to me, because they want to feel sorry for someone that had done that. And I don't want to talk about it. I don't want to deal with it. Because, oh, this one's white, this one's gay, and then that one helped the gays a long time ago, so fight for the gays. Like, they don't... This is because I was straight and I was different from them, and that's how it's always been. So, I have to go along with it. You don't understand. If I'm not a part of my mother's life, I can tell you this, my mother's twin is extremely nasty and dangerous. She is nasty and dangerous. She is very unremorseful about the actions that she's doing. I feel very uncomfortable to talk to her, but I have to pretend, and I have to go along with it, because they're training me and making me believe horrible fucking things, which I had no choice because they beat me with the electronic devices. I really do hope the best for your life. I still have to go along with it. I still have to send my mother gifts to hold on, and whatever she is going to hold on to it. I'm not kidding you. I just had somebody steal $100 from me when I was in Las Vegas. My mother, I let her borrow $100, and she's not my mother. I don't even know what her fucking name is. This identical twin. My mother has an identical twin. I'm giving my mother's. Do you see how this poisoned me when I'm sitting there and talking, saying my mother? She's not my fucking mother. She's my mother's fucking identical twin that someone has been poisoning me and been fucking contaminating this shit because they want to clean up the homosexual rapes of what they fucking did over that expensive house they gave my mother, thinking that I'm fighting for that goddamn house. I get raped in my fucking ass and given oral sex, washing in a pool full of blood. I did save my brother from almost all 10 homosexual confirms. Saving my brother as a fucking hero from being raped when he didn't want to. I fucking went to the fucking hospital for 7 fucking years when my dad would be crying to me. What did I get? Ken Cooper and Sarah Cooper for the white supremacist movement for the police department and detective work for the shootout. Who wins the shootout like a real cowboy for the real funeral and how glorious he was through the power of Jesus Christ. It's all lies. These people don't believe in God. They don't believe in Jesus. They don't give a shit. But like I said, as kind as I am, and it doesn't matter. I go 4 days ago, I went to Hannah Ford. Somebody's stocking groceries, and then someone looks over at me and just yells at me. Says, "Oh, I'm just being polite," like making a mockery of me. This son of a bitch doesn't even, and I don't even want to start cussing or saying anything, and I would never do that, first of all, because you don't understand how many threats. They literally dispatch their own personal bouncers like that. Snap of a finger, they press a button, they electrocute me, they shoot my brain, they shoot my body, or they have some enforcer to come threaten me, to let anybody do whatever they want to you, even if they're nasty to me. And this is why I had to get up and run. I had to just get up and leave. I had no choice. I had to get up and leave, and knowing that I just continue sleeping on the streets. There's no choice. I had to leave a house, or I had to leave a grocery store, go to a different grocery store, or go to a different gas station, or go to a different movie theater, or go to... It was just, that's how it was, because you had no choice. They have so many people persecuting me and hating me when I haven't done anything bad, that you can't get any peace. You get more peace than sleeping underneath the fucking bridge or next to a toilet in a fucking park or a trash can, because they don't want to be near it. That's my life. Like, so, like I told you, there's a lot of stuff I'm not recording. They're still shooting the hell out of me with electronic devices. They're still, every morning, they're dumping my intestines beyond anything you could fucking imagine. I'm literally taking 6 or 7 shits in a fucking single day, to the point where I can actually feel them push the electronic devices in my guts, and it's just pushing any feces, any food that's in my stomach, guts, large intestines, small intestines, out of my body by force, to the point where my colon is being fucking ripped open. It feels like it's just ripping my fucking colon, and there's just so much shit that's coming out that it's fucking like ripping. And then I make a phone call to the Social Security office, and there's some black lady, or obviously this is how they're doing because they're playing racist too. And I call them on the phone, and then they start doing these sexual gestures toward me, going, going like that, and saying these sick-ass gestures over the fucking phone, when they know every phone call I make is being tapped. Every phone call and place I go to, every single phone call I make, Social Security office, Amazon, eBay, any customer service, PayPal. I'm not kidding you. I have this one particular person that is fucking... I've called Amazon, PayPal, eBay. I've called Social Security office. I've called what other government office? What other fucking... like 4 or 5 different professional buildings, and some of them being government offices. And it's this one pesterizing fucking transgender making a mockery of a voice of me. And it's been following me and stalking. He sounds like a Filipino or Asian person over the last, I'm going to say the last 6-7 years. And it's only been getting worse. And whoever's transferring my phone calls, they're all wired. Every single fucking phone call is fucking wired. They're not going to the Social Security office. They're going to a call center for people to bash me, for people to take advantage of the desperate situation I am in, and maliciously make it look like make me feel like I'm in a dog in a fucking cage. You'd be like an animal, like a fucking worthless animal, waiting to die. And go, here you go, you do Hector, huh? Yeah, I tell you, that's what you're gonna get. And so they do these very sickening things. So me being polite isn't gonna matter to any of these people, because they enjoy persecuting me. They don't like talking to me like a human being. And on top of that, every single phone call I make over the phone, they're making these screeching noises, so that I have to keep pulling away, and they keep jacking up the volume so that I can't have any pleasant conversation with anyone, even when it's important information. And then they start getting me to do very silly and ridiculous, tedious, difficult tasks that I know that wouldn't be very difficult. They start threatening me. They start using these manners, like when I called the unemployment office to see how much I'm going to be getting, and I was speaking to them. This lady begins, "Oh no, me and my coworker, we're going to figure out how much you're going to get." And it's right after the conversation I had with my mother. So they're listening to the conversation, and they're making these mockery conversations in toward me to make me surrender, to make me say that, no, this is what you're going to get. And I don't want to argue. I'm done arguing with this. I don't want to get into it. But it's these people that are doing this. I have already thrown in the towel. I've thrown in the towel a long time ago, or not a long time ago, but it's been a while. I've thrown in the towel in this. This doesn't belong to me. Nothing belongs to me. Nothing of that house. Everything belongs to God, to what He saw, how wrong these people did to me. I threw in the towel. That house, that money, all belongs to them, to the gay community, to the psychologists and these pigs and Ken and Sarah Cooper, and all. It all belongs to them. I never did very much for Frankie. Nobody understands. It's like telling a veteran that killed 10 people, they never really went to war, never did anything, and then forcing them, beating them to make them believe that. That's what they're doing to me. Let me tell you this. Michaela, understand this. I don't know who the psychologists are. When I went to the car show, I went to go get some french fries at Glazer's. When I sat down, all these pretty people, every single person in that restaurant is waiting me like I'm some sort of nigger that's going in there. Excuse my language, but that's exactly what they're doing. Like I'm some sort of black going in there and some sort of monkey in there that's violating their homosexual environment. And I'm polite, you don't understand. I walk in there and it's like the 1940s or some shit. Like you don't even know where to sit down, and you don't even know where to stand, or who to ask for food or a cup of water, because it's just about persecuting for the white race, for Ken and Sarah Cooper, for the power of the white, for the power of the homosexual. I was there, when I went in there, let me tell you what happened, Michaela. There was some guy, it could have been Marco. I don't know if it was him posing. I don't know if they had him acting or what, but he was the register cashier. And I just went in there. Can I get some french fries? Just some fries. I don't want anything special, just some fries. And, he took the order, but this guy's sort of behaving kind of weird. And he looks exactly like Marco. And so I pay for the food, and then he looks over at me and he goes, "Oh, no, wait, hold on. You're going to have to because of... oh wait, hold on. Yeah, I will go ahead and set it there," and he does that. So I don't think of him as the guy seems to be, because he's talking about how Miguel raped Frankie. So now they're getting him to do these things. This is how nasty his condition is. So I don't pay attention. I just try to ignore it. I walk outside. I sit down, and then I feel very uncomfortable. So I just go outside and sit. I don't even want to sit down in that restaurant. So when I'm outside, I eat my french fries, and I decide to leave. And I'm walking outside from the outside patio, inside, and when I walk, they have a very large male that looks like Ken Cooper sort of charge at me. Like get up and sort of charge at me, and they get a large physical feature of Ken Cooper. White, blonde hair, same eye color, same skin color, same white power representative, body posture, attitude, sort of just charges at me a little bit to intimidate me. And he begins walking in the direction like he's going to Ken Cooper, like he owns the house, my dad's house, and he's going to go check at Miguel's, because that's what he was doing about the raping that happened and all the punking that happened and slapping my mother. So I thought it was very important for me to say this. The reason they're doing this, they want to threaten me with Ken Cooper supporter about Marco. I'm not dealing with Marco unless Marco calls me by person. He's never called me in person. Or in my opinion, I don't think he's allowed to have any communication with me. But I've never spoken to him one time over the phone. Not one single time that I can ever recall in any normal conversation. That was it. I don't think I even got his, because when I lived at my mom's apartment 6-7 years ago, I never even got his phone number, because I was scared to even give him a call for any reason, because they'll retaliate against me, like to speak to my own brother. So, like I said, they already threatened me with Ken Cooper's white supremacist to control my mother, that Marco's in charge, and that's how they control things. So, like I said, I didn't say anything, but they did that when I was at the Glazer's restaurants. And there's a continuing basis above that. But I say this because if my mother's in a very mental bad state and all these rapes happen, it's because they just want to glorize the rapes that have happened. I know Frankie's not in a good state, and they want to cover it up. They don't want to. They know how to put me in prison. They know how to throw me to the streets. They knew how to sick the police officers on me for so many years and did this to me. They know what they're doing. They did this to me, not to them. They got the wrong criminal. Criminal's over there. So, like I said, I think it's important because I just have to go along with what they tell me to do. I have no choice because there's just retaliation. There's no peace. This is the only life I'm going to get. I believe that God saw something that I did. You know, earlier today, let me tell you what happened. Earlier today, I went to the post office. When I got there, there was a guy that rushed at me all crazy. Looks like he has a firearm, ready to have a shootout with a gun. You know, I don't have any weapons. He approaches me very violently. Some military, he tries to behave military. White supremacist. Shows up, I'm at the post office. And he just yells out, like he's yelling at me, and he goes, "Yeah, that's me!" And he does like that. And he's looking to the side, and he waits for me to turn around because he knows he's yelling at me. And I turn around, and he's like that. And he's looking, and the post office is right next door to the Glazers restaurant. So it's like a bar and restaurant. And the reason he's looking that way is because he's trying to condition me and train me, because everyone saw how Ken Cooper took control of Marco and his white representative did. So I want to say this, that this is how they control me, this is how they train me. I don't want any part of that. So I don't know what's going on. I like things to be peaceful, and that's what they're doing. My mother is... It's not the money. That house that y'all gave her and everything is covered in so much blood and filthy fucking blood, and what y'all did to my mother, it's because that's what they bought. Their money bought all that pain and suffering intentionally to do this, because they wanted Miguel and Diana and their homosexuals to get away with it, and Ken and Sarah Cooper. But I can express that this is so much an entanglement, so much of an entanglement. There was absolutely not even the closest of justice. I didn't get anything from this. They don't understand that what they did is they persecuted me for it. Like I was, just like my sister got thrown away like a piece of trash. That's exactly what they did to me, and they continue to do that. Just like they did to Frankie after raping him with 10 fully grown men, and then give me any credit for it, or say I ever did anything, let alone, I'm not even allowed to talk to my mom in the last 20 fucking years. In the last 20 years, I haven't talked to my mother. If my mother would have died in a tragic accident or for some fucking crazy reason, I could not go to a funeral and be like, this person was, my remembrance is only 20 years ago. This first 20 years that I've been speaking to her fucking twin has been mouthing off fucking disgusting ass shit toward me. Fucking nasty toward me. Real fucking mean. Disgusting, like almost saying wishful death shit to me. Like, this is fucking crazy what these... And I could see her that she has these glasses on, and there's these, like, laser beams or some shit that these people are telling her exactly where to stand and where to do. And she's wearing these glasses, and she's just, like, going to these fucking places and walking around me in their apartment, or whenever I see her in the car, and they immediately train her to tell her exactly how to maliciously, like, cut my fucking throat open with all sorts of nasty words and all kinds of fucked up shit, because they know, my mother's twin knows. Remember, I have no communication with my mother. It's only my mother's identical twin. They're having pose as her. So they're getting her, as she knows that they're beating the shit out of me with electronic devices and not saying anything about it. So she then harnesses the abuse. She doesn't want to help me. She doesn't want anything. She's just using me as a punching bag to be as abusive as they can. So, like I said, I have to go along with it. I have no choice.